everyone, and welcome back to Modern Life Unfiltered. Today I wanted to talk about love, healing, and standards, especially for women navigating life after their 20s. I'll share some of my personal experience, what I've learned from dating later, and being married for 15 years and now living with clarity. So grab your drink of choice, get comfy, and let's get unfiltered. You know what's interesting? I really didn't start dating prior to my early 20s because my father was strict. And honestly, I'm truly grateful for that now, because that means I didn't go to all the dating experiments that people usually do now. So when I entered a relationship, I kind of had a different approach. I wasn't chasing attention, and I definitely wasn't trying to be chosen. I was cautious, observant, and learning as I went. But even with that caution, I realized something important over time, that attraction is not enough. That clarified that butterfly's charm is not just about liking someone or feeling sparks. It's asking yourself, do I feel calm? Do I feel safe? Do I feel respected? That clarity, more than butterflies and charm alone, became the foundation for how I choose love today. Now, a few years later, I see a subtle difference now. I also learned that what used to feel exciting in my 20s doesn't always feel good in my 30s. Consistency used to feel thrilling, now it's exhausting. Emotional availability used to feel mysterious, now it feels draining. Attention without effort used to feel flattering, now it's a signal of imbalance. And here's a sort of red flag that I pay attention to now, which is something I didn't notice at first. It's how someone treats their family. I remember dating a guy early on who was all about me. And yeah, you might think, wow, he's really into me. Actually, that's a red flag. Pay attention to how he ignores his family or treats his family and puts you 1000% first. They shouldn't be forgetting about the people who were there long before me or before you. Pay attention to that. There's other subtle patterns that you should pay attention to, which is avoiding uncomfortable conversations, choosing charm to smooth out issues, him doing small behaviors that make you feel anxious, and overanalyzing everything, like texts and conversations. These aren't dramatic red flags, but patterns do matter. And that's how you spot the real deal over potential. Let me know in the comments, did you start dating early or later like me? What's a subtle red flag that you ignore early on in the relationship? These aren't dramatic red flags, but patterns matter, and that's how you spot the real deal from potential. So let me know in the comments, did you start dating young or later like me? What's a subtle red flag that you ignore early on in the relationship? Have you ever confused anxiety for chemistry? When do you realize that potential is not reality? I would love to hear it in the comments. Let me know. Now let's talk a little bit about healing. Healing is not about becoming cold. It's becoming clear. It's not about shutting your heart off. It's about knowing what you want, what you need, and what you're not tolerating. Honestly, it's a journey that takes patience and self-compassion. In order to heal, it's important for you to work on yourself, whether it's on your own or with a therapist. For me, even journaling and self-reflection help me see the patterns. You notice how you react, what triggers you, and what behaviors you accept and what you don't. Writing things down helps separate feelings from reactions. You can go back to whatever you journal in, maybe the prior week or whenever, and then you say, there it is again, that pattern I didn't like. It's like your brain gives you a replay of what happened. Another thing to help you heal is learning just to sit alone, to spend time on your own. Being alone isn't lonely. At first it felt weird, but now I enjoy my own company. You learn to stop needing someone else to complete you, and that's powerful. I remember one Saturday I sat alone in my porch with my coffee and journal, no phones, no distractions, the kids weren't around, and realized I was okay by myself. That clarity changed everything about how I approach datings and relationships. Then through healing, there was a dating shift, not dating for loneliness. I didn't date to fill an empty space. Healing taught me to wait for someone who aligns in my life and not my emotions. Another dating shift I had is choosing peace over passion. I used to chase sparks, intensity, and adrenaline, the kind that feels exciting but yet exhausting. Now I choose calm, respect, and stability. And that doesn't feel boring, it feels safe. This stage of life is less about sparks and more about stability. Less about proving your worth and more of living your worth. Less about chasing someone and more about who deserves your energy. Let me know, how do you practice clarity in your relationships? What's one way that you enjoy your own company? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to read it. Now let's talk about standards. And let's not confuse standards between walls up. I don't have walls up, I have standards. Walls push everyone away out of fear. Standards, they're clarity, they're self-respect. They tell the world, this is what I want and what I'm not going to accept. Example of standards are consistency, them showing up when they say they're gonna show up, respect for you, your time, and the people who share them. Emotional availability, willing to communicate and leaning in. Someone with leadership, taking initiative and responsibility. Peace, love should be calm, not draining. As a mom, my standards are higher because my daughters are watching. They're seeing how people treat me and what I allow and what I don't tolerate. Standards are not walls, they're more like invitations. Basically like saying, this is what love looked like. If you can meet it, welcome. If not, let's keep it moving. Let me know, what standards have you realized that you can't compromise? Did you ever confuse walls over standards? Let me know, how often does your standards change when you're dating versus in a relationship? I would love to know. Valentine's Day is coming, and I know a lot of people feel different about this day. What I would like to say is, for the women who are single, don't lower your standards because it's Valentine's Day. Being single isn't a delay, it's protection. It gives you space to heal, to grow, and choose love that deserves you. And to my ladies in a relationship, make sure to choose each other intentionally. Celebrate connection, clarity, and effort. Show up for the love that you actually want. This stage of life is about alignment, not desperation. About clarity, not comparison. And choosing peace over chaos. You don't need sparks to validate your worth. You need stability, respect, and someone who actually shows up emotionally, mentally, and consistently. At this stage of life, love should feel peaceful. Not confusion, not anxiety, not chaos, but peace. Thanks for listening to Modern Life Unfiltered. I hope this episode gives you clarity, perspective, and a little courage in love. See you on the next episode.